We're not going to get a new client from YouTube, but there might be a client who made an inquiry with us through another channel, who the YouTube page confirmed to them that we are a company worth dealing with.
Yeah.
And that's what it's about.
Welcome back to another Inside Marketing. As always, I'm DMC, and I am now at the Breakout Media stand with Mike Lewis, the owner of the company, to tell us a bit more. Basically, they do a lot in the world of SEO, and my big question is, in a world that we live in today, where things are becoming increasingly more animated, more video-based content, we're here to talk about how you make SEO work. What does it even mean in 2022-23?
Yeah, I think regardless of any trends, I've been in SEO for 20 years, and it's evolved a lot over that time, but the basic principles have always remained the same. At the end of the day, I think people try and overcomplicate things. Google is not that complicated. Google wants to give the customer the best possible result for what that customer is looking for, and it really is as simple as that. So as a business, you should just be thinking about, okay, well, how can my website give the best possible result? Now, Google's ranking factors might change. SEO 20 years ago was way more very keyword driven, very spammy, horrendous. Yeah, all
Do you remember
that.
the bottom of pages, and it would just be loads and loads of hidden keywords in the same colour as the background?
Keywords in the same colour as the background, yes. I remember it.
Oh, that takes me back.
I remember it well.
Not in a good way.
No. But as Google's gotten cleverer, people often say to me in SEO, well, what do you do when the algorithm changes? If you focus with your SEO campaign on giving the end user the best result, then any algorithm change should only benefit you.
Yeah.
Because any algorithm change is only to get rid of anyone trying to spam it, anyone trying to find a way around it. It's only ever to try and give the user the best possible result.
And that's it. I think so often when people start thinking about SEO and designing websites, they start from the angle of how can I game the system the best?
Yeah. How can I find a way around it?
Yeah. But when the game of what Google's trying to do, as you rightly said, if it's not serving its users, it's not going to be serving its advertisers.
Yeah.
So it's always aimed at how can we work out what is the best content for the user, and your product or your website should be the best thing for the user, and if it's not, then it shouldn't be in first place.
Yeah, 100%. Someone said to me today, so as a company, we often say to people, listen, SEO takes time.
Yeah.
One, it costs money. It's not cheap. It takes a lot of work, a lot of content production, whether that be videos or blogs or technical, everything. It's all content. That takes man hours, which is expensive if you want expert man hours. And two, it takes time because you're building something. You know, you don't build a house overnight. You build it over a period of time. But what you've always got is you've always got the customer. How can I get this as cheap as possible, as quick as possible? So that leads to companies, right, how do we find a way around the algorithm? How do we cheat it? And that might work for a month, it might work for 3 months, it might work for 6 months. At some point, you're going to get kicked off.
Yeah.
So instead, you're better off telling your customer, SEO is going to take 6 to 12 months, minimum. If you can't afford to spend, let's say, £1,500 a month for 12 months, it's an £18,000 investment, don't do SEO. Put your money into Google Ads, because you're not going to get results in month 1 or month 2 or month 3. Results might come in months 9 to 12, but off that kind of spend, those results should be big results. Do you know what I mean? And that's kind of the idea, really. But it's about being upfront with people. It's about not trying to game the system. Yeah. Because it's about looking for, the whole point of SEO is long-lasting results.
Absolutely.
If you want quick results, do PPC. But if you want long-lasting results, SEO is still going to be the best way.
So what are then the current big algorithmic trends in SEO, the things that are working?
So for me, there's still the two main things, relevance and authority. Google needs to look at your website and know that you are relevant for what the customer is looking for. So that does involve keywords. It does involve metadata. The old things of SEO still work. Having a good title tag, having good alt tags, having good H1 tags, all those things still work. Relevant to website. You're not going to get to the top of Google without being an authority in your sector.
Yeah.
You need to build your authority. And you do that through high quality content marketing. Now, content marketing can be blogs, infographics, how-to guides.
Great videos like this.
And this is what we're seeing more of. So previously, Google always said video was never a ranking factor.
Yeah.
But how long someone spent on your website was a ranking factor, and a video can help people spend longer on your website. Now, Google is saying video is a ranking factor. So if you haven't got any videos, you're doing something wrong. But that doesn't mean blogs are dead.
Yeah.
Not even close to meaning blogs are dead. If I'm at work, I read a blog. If people are members of the team, if they want to research something, they will still read a blog. They'll still read a how-to guide. They'll still read a white paper. The study that said that video is now a ranking factor was still done written. It was a written study. I didn't watch that on YouTube. I read it in an industry paper.
Yeah.
But if it's not backed up with a video, the video should have a transcript below it. People want to watch some things, people want to read some things, you know? So instead of looking at how do I do SEO, how do I become an authority? If you are an authority, that will help your SEO. You will rank on Google by being the authority. So you got to look at, it's a different question. It's not just how do I get to the top of Google, how do I build my authority? How do I build my brand?
Yeah.
You know?
Because really that's what it's about, isn't it? People are so focused on that number one spot because you can see it, but really you only want to be in that number one spot because that in itself is going to generate business down the line.
Absolutely.
That's the real reason.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's all about that. And even some of the things that where the metrics don't look as good. We were talking before you came on camera about, we started a YouTube page about 6 months ago. It's got 65 subscribers. It doesn't get a lot of views. But we've just had a conversation with someone who's got a budget of £10,000 a month, right? They're a big client to us. Do you think before they spend money with us, they're going to go away and research our company? Do you think if they can see a YouTube page that's full of me giving tips and advice on SEO, full of me interviewing on a podcast other leading business people, we're positioning ourselves as an authority in the sector? So I
wouldn't know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Don't forget to like and subscribe.
But yeah, so I think we're not going to get a new client from YouTube. But there might be a client who made an inquiry with us through another channel, who the YouTube page confirmed to them that we are a company worth dealing with.
Yeah.
And that's what it's about. We want to be seen everywhere. We don't get new inquiries from organic Facebook. But if people look at our Facebook, we haven't posted for a year, you know what? It makes us look like an amateur.
We are taking the exact same approach in the Inside Marketing parent company, BCMC. We're doing the exact same thing, and it definitely works. That when you're trying to approach larger clients, it's less about the numbers, it's about the activity.
Yes.
The proof that you know what you're talking about.
100%. Everything these days is about authority. Listen, anyone can set up a marketing business with a laptop and a bit of banter. I was speaking to a kid yesterday who was saying to me, how do I set up a marketing business? And I was like, well, here's what I did.
Yeah.
Is I did SEO for 15 years in another company, and then 4 years ago I set up by myself. And he went, what if I want to outsource it and I've got no skills? He's like, I'll just sell it and outsource everything. And I was like, you will never get anyone who wants to pay you serious money if you don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
You know, even if go to an apprenticeship for 2 or 3 years, whatever it is, but you need to build your authority.
And people can smell that a
Mile
off.
Of course they can. You know, so you might be able to get some jobs on Fiverr. You might be able to get, but those are not the clients what you build a business of. In terms of SEO, for me, things remain the same but different. Do you know what I mean? They remain the same. You're looking to build a relevant, authoritative website. The difference is, it's not about what you take away, it's about what you add in. You add in a bit of video, you add in a bit of blogs, you add in a bit of this. If you focus on building your authority, you'll get there.
Perfect. Well, on that note, we'll of course make sure that there's a link to Breakout Media's YouTube channel in the description. And don't forget to like, subscribe theirs, like, subscribe ours too. You know the business by now. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next episode.
Thank you.